Injustice makes him boil, evil makes him burn, and then Danny Ketch becomes the Ghost Rider. Flame Glow Ghost Rider, blaze and vengeance, ride in the name of justice. With whip chains, hidden projectiles, and with flaming discs and a ghost fire gun, they destroy scum like Zarathos and Skinner. If evil makes you burn, ride with new Flame Glow Ghost Rider, defender of the innocent. Cycles come with figures, other figures sold separately.
Hello gang, and welcome to Displaying-Model-Behaviour, still with a bit of a head cold and fighting for my life here. Okay, it's not that bad, but to quote Will Smith, I'm the illest, at least in this room. Juanita is in rather good health, actually, except for a bad back. Every time we see each other, we're falling to pieces. But hey, we soldier on regardless. One day we'll live in the same country where international flights won't expose me to a petri dish of illnesses that I then have to combat the whole time that we're together. Enough about my life, though. How you doing? You all right? Drinking enough water? I hope so. Call your friends, check in on them, see how they're doing. All right, with that being said, there's a whole bunch of news out there to talk about. So let's talk about it.
The good people of Mezco have shown this city what a real action figure is. It's not about a man who puts on a mask, but it's about a toy that sits on a boy's shelf and reminds him that action figures can still be based on movies.
I'm sorry, I can't take Christian Bale's Batman seriously. It's ridiculous. I watched just a little clip from The Dark Knight Rises the other day, and I'm like, how? How did you see how this was in The Dark Knight and then double down on that voice? That's not only that, but throwing Bane as well. But actually, I really like Tom Hardy's Bane. But oh my goodness,
a real hero is a boy who has a jacket put around him by a man.
It's terrible. and Jim Gordon's supposed to go, oh yeah, I put my jacket around that boy's shoulders 30 years ago. I remember that. Garbage. What am I talking about, though? Oh, yeah, this Mezco figure, which actually doesn't look like garbage. It actually looks very nice. I'm sorry, this is one of those episodes, isn't it? So, Dark Knight Trilogy, Christian Bale, Batman. Focus in, Dave. Lock in. $119.99. That's kind of like, feels like the average price for a Mezco now, but you know, that's because everything's going up. But I mean, hey, at least you get, 5 different heads and a whole bunch of hands? I mean, that's you'd always kind of like a little bit more, wouldn't you? I mean, you get a stand as well, but I mean, of course you do. It's a Mezco. It looks good. At least this figure shouldn't have the problems of the latex Tim Burton style Batman figures that seem to be chipping and cracking and splitting all over the place. This suit, by its very design, where it's more paneled and armored, hopefully that won't have those rubber issues. So this is going to be shipping around about June of 2026. So if you like the look of him
and you want to immortalize Christian Bale's Batman on your shelf,
then you can go over to mezco.com, put your pre-order in. So it's like Christian Bale's Batman, the Clones Wars. Is there anything else that people love that I can just dump on? And pour one out for $25 Marvel Legends. That lasted a couple of years, didn't it? Was it even that? Maybe it was just a year. Well, you know what? Those days are officially over. I did raise an eyebrow and speak about my surprise at Emperor Doom being $27 up for pre-order. Well, lo and behold, that is the start of a new generation. And unfortunately, it's like a WWE 1993 new generation. So, you know, rubbish. Yeah, it's going to be $27.99 across the board MSRP for your basic Marvel Legend going forward. I understand that a lot of this is due to social economic situations. Tariffs, import taxes, this, that, and the other. And, you know, that's not my place to comment on whether tariffs are good, bad, or indifferent because I'm not an economist. But that's what's being cited in a lot of press releases and this, that, and the other. So that's what I've got to go on. In the meantime, though, yes, it's $27.99 not only for your basic Marvel Legend, but also for G.I. Joe Classifieds and also for Star Wars The Black Series as well. Every basic figure It's going to be $27.99. And hey, over the last 5 years, we've seen the creep, haven't we? It was $20. It was $19.99 when I started collecting. Well, at least when I recently started collecting. Then it was 22, 25, now going up to 28. Don't know where that cap is going to be, but I can say for myself and a lot of people, I'm out. I can't do it. There have been so many cool-looking figures that have been released and revealed over the last couple of years, but I can't justify it because as much as I love Hasbro's products, I don't love them that much. I don't love them more than eating healthy food, for example, or paying for a gym membership, or even, Netflix. We have so many things vying for our money right now that designating £28 for a single action figure is just baby. Hi, baby. Hey, baby. I'm just moaning about the price of action figures in this economy. In this economy, baby. And I'm just regurgitating facts that I've heard about tariffs, which I don't fully understand, but I think that the people watching understand that I know that I don't understand. So hopefully I won't get mean comments from people going like, who are you to tell us about tariffs? There might be a lot of finger pointing, internet finger pointing, which still hurts, by the way. So you know what? That's actually a perfect time for me to wrap up this video because no, baby, I've been filming a lot. Do you want to say hello? Or you want to say?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
All right, I'm gonna finish.
Okay. I don't want to get lipstick on you.
No, or give me a golden nose.
Yeah.
This rubbish Bond villain. All right.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so yes, that's why I have to be out. I got to be out of the game. I might buy things secondhand. Buy things secondhand, but I'm not paying $28, baby, for a single action figure. No, I shouldn't have to. To be honest, I'm a YouTube celebrity. I should get them sent to me. But despite what everyone thinks, I'm not on Hasbro's payroll. I wish I was. Hasbro, I'm available to shill. I want to be a shill, but they won't ask me because I'm a live wire. That's the problem. I'm a rogue soldier of fortune who can't be trusted to not say something stupid that would destroy the company. I've done it before. Don't worry. All right, you know what? Let's wrap this up because this is getting silly. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time.
Wait, baby.
Yeah?
Have you
Done what?
told?
No, I haven't. Do you want to? That's why I can't afford $28 action figures.
Goodbye. You asked me.
Baby, I made a choice, baby. I made a choice.
Oh.
So yeah, we're getting married. Yeah. So we got engaged a couple of days ago in Japan. Mm-hmm. So, and then I was like, right, baby, I got to go talk about toys now. But yeah, so I guess that goes to show we all have priorities that we have to meet and make an account for. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up again.
Okay, baby.
All right, baby.
All right.
So until next time, keep displaying model behavior. Oh, this is cool. We don't have enough dwarves. We've got barbarians, we've got ogres, we've got muscle mummy warrior goddesses, but we don't have enough dwarf action figures. Well, that's about to change. Let me rattle this off here. God, I need to start wearing glasses. We've got available for pre-order from Bon Busby. This is Adventure World, Astrolor. Let's try that again. Astrolora's, we'll go with that. Astrolora's Studio, 1/12 scale, Eternal Expedition Series, Dwarven Assassin, Verdred Anvil. That's actually a great name for a dwarf. And I love the name Anvil. Always makes me think of Jim Neidhart. It's the perfect name for just a stocky bruiser of a character. Apparently, Jim Neidhart was called the Anvil because he won the anvil tossing championship at a Stampede rodeo or something. So there you go. It's just a WWE fact-heavy episode today. But I really like the look of this guy. A whole bunch of cloth goods, different mediums. He's got the raven on his shoulder as well. Oh, man, they've gone all out with this. A whole bunch of weapons with weapon effects, too. You're collecting a little sword and sorcery type stuff here. This might be, and stop me if I'm wrong, or tell me a different one, throw the gauntlet down. What is a better 1/12 scale dwarf action figure than this. I defy you, sir. Good day, sir. To tell me a better 1/12 scale dwarf. I don't think you can do. This looks real nice. I'm very impressed. Folks, this episode is sponsored by Legendsverse. You know what Legendsverse is, but I'm going to tell you anyway in case there is some uninitiated of you out there watching right now. It is your one-stop shop for all your action figure correlating, cataloging, and collecting needs. Whether it's Marvel Legends, Mafex, Mezco, McFarlane, SH Figure Arts, Transformers, Motu, G.I. Joe Classified, Star Wars The Black Series, Select, SH Figure Arts. Oh, what else have they got? Mythic Legions. I'm going to stop rattling them off. But they have an archive of literally decades of action figures. I spent a little while the other day going through old 90s McFarlane Spawn figures. Why? Because why the heck not? It's so much fun to see where we come from, so we know where we're going to be going. Plus, of course, you can use this website to catalog your collection and see how much it's worth, what you could insure it for, and look at all the other categories like how to make different teams, all that good fun stuff. You can do all that for free as well. It doesn't cost you a penny, but if you want to get a membership and you can do even more things, you can click the little link in the description below. It's a one-time payment, and by clicking the little linky link, well, you get a little discount as well because you're one of the Model Behavior Good Brothers. So yeah, go check out Legendsverse and tell them Model Behavior sent you. This has been out in the news for a while, but totally passed me by. I think it might have dropped during ToyTuber Expo, which was why I didn't sort of notice it. Too much going on. But we're about to get some pirate figures. Some honest to goodness, pirate figure. I shouldn't have done that voice. Some pirate figures. So this is a Kickstarter, but it's being done with some of the skills of Four Horsemen Studios. So you can go over to Corsair Creations on Instagram because the Kickstarter hasn't actually launched yet. But you can go over here and see a lot of very enticing looking pictures. So reading from this, it says, Realms of the Black Tide is a high fantasy pirate action figure toy line developed by Corsair Creations and sculpted and prototyped by Four Horsemen Studios. So you know you're getting some good quality action figure goodness here. Coming soon to Kickstarter, build your crew because here there be pirates. Wave 1 consists of the 3 pirate captains, which are the main characters. So yeah, follow Corsair Creations on Instagram, and when the Kickstarter launches, we'll take a closer look at it. From Hasbro Marvel Legends, the Cyclops and Jean Grey 2-pack is up now for pre-order, and all I'm saying is you might want to order it for the price of $50 because I feel like the next 2-pack's probably going to be more expensive. So lock in those prices while you can do, or at least enjoy them while you can do, because it seems as though things are just going up. And something else that's going up is Cyclops's banana hammock, probably between his butt cheeks. That's something that's so distracting. It's a good looking set. I think it's a good looking set, but they have different ways of doing trunks on figures. I can't remember which one it was, but there's like a recent Wolverine where they paint some of the trunks on the upper thighs so it doesn't look, like a posing pouch. Whereas here, it really does. Like it looks like Cyclops just painted his Schwing yellow. Awful. Which is a shame because everything else on this set is good. Sorry, I'm on cold and flu medication, so I think it's a bit of a silly kind of mood. But yeah, it's up for pre-order now. But the state of your underpants, mate. I can't get over that. Over on Big Bad Toy Store, there is a new set of Blocky's Pokemon figures that you can put your money down for. I don't really follow Pokemon. No, is that the Weird Al version with the accordion? Pokemon? I don't really follow Pokemon too much, but I do know that Blockies are really fantastic. They won me over by just giving me a load of stuff, but that's not why I like them. They gave me a load of stuff, and I was like, this is really good. Unlike other companies that I have spoke about that have given me stuff, and I'm like, I'm not going to put my name to this. Thank you. But Blockies, yeah, they're great. So if you're a Pokemon fan, you might want to go check these out on Big Bad Toy Store. So at the moment, they've just released, again, this is a non-Pokemon fan here, Cerulege. Cerulege, Charizard. I know Charizard. Greninja and Meowscarada. Meowscarada, I like. Sounds like a Lucha Libre wrestler. So yeah, go check them out at Big Bad Toy Store.
What's up? It's Cronius Maximus of Gwar here to announce that we've been teaming up with Trick or Treat Studios for brand new 5-inch action figures. That's right. Collect all 5, and guess what happens? You get a different piece of Odorous, and then what happens from then on there? They're gonna send you a vat of slime that's got Odorous's torso in it. It's kind of like Optimus Prime or something. Where it's like got what's it called, the Power Rangers, and then they get all 5 of them, and then the Megazord, and then you create the Gwar Megazord Megalord Overachiever Award. Here now at Gwar.net. Love you. It's Grodius, by the way. Just kidding. You. Bye.
Well, I think he said it better than I could. These Gwar action figures have been up for pre-order for a long, long time now, but they're about to start shipping. So if you want to get over to Trick or Treat Studios just in time for Halloween, you can put your order in. I've been following Gwar, not following Gwar's career. I've been aware of Gwar's career for literally decades. There was a big brouhaha like back in the 90s when they performed on the morning breakfast show, the Big Breakfast in the UK, which is on TV, and people watch before they go to school or go to work. And it was generally decided by the British public, or at least all the pearl clutchers, that was not appropriate to have Gwar perform on the Big Breakfast. But it always made me chuckle. So I've always got a bit of 90s nostalgia for Gwar. And that little promo piece done there, that did kind of tickle me, even though I was watching it going, I'm gonna have to time my censoring beeps for this, aren't I? But the figures are kind of fun looking. I mean, they're expensive. They're about $40 each, but I do like that they're doing the Build-A-Figure concept as well. But really, it's definitely one for the hardcore Gwar fans. But I know that the band's been around as long as it has. That can only be because there are a lot of hardcore Gwar fans out there. So if that's one of you, and you haven't put your orders in yet, well, now's the time to do it because they're going to be releasing very, very soon. One of my all-time favorite Godzilla movies, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Really kind of emotional. This is the end of an era for Godzilla. This is the one where he melts down at the end. He goes like hyper radioactive, and it's genuinely, for a man-in-suit monster movie, kind of gets me. It genuinely kind of gets me. And Super 7, they've immortalized the moment at which Godzilla melts down and goes into, well, meltdown, I guess. Remember Atom Bomb? He was great. They really should have pushed him harder back in the mid-90s. His finisher was called the Atom Smasher. Like, that's just awesome. Apparently, he had to stop using it, though, because it was too similar to Diesel's Jackknife Powerbomb, and apparently that's not okay. Anyway, enough of my complaints about 1994 WWF. This is a fun-looking figure from Super 7. He's going to be priced between, apparently, reading from Toy Arc here, between $105 and $115, depending on where you order from. So, shop around, lads. And then also, if you order directly from Super 7, then you're going to get a pack with an interchangeable head as well. So there you go. You can get a little extra something by going directly to the source. And this dude is going to be released around about June of next year. Up for pre-order now from Good Smile Company, we've got a Hades figure from the video game that I thought I should have really got into, but actually I just couldn't quite wrap my head around it. But it does make a good-looking action figure. Hades is kind of a isometrical, what are they called, roguelite type games. Everything about it looks really appealing, but I don't know, just didn't do it for me. And then there were all these people saying like 10 out of 10, game of the year. I don't know. I'm just excited for Hollow Knight Silk Song to be dropping soon. That's actually got me excited. A little bit of precision platforming. Oof. A bit of Metroidvania too. That's definitely going to be my jam. But this action figure, I mean, it's just a cool design. It's very, very faithful to the artistic look of the game itself. So this is listed on the Good Smile website as 11,800 yen, which is about sort of $60. But then again, with tariffs and everything being what they are, I mean, that's a crazy situation, isn't it? What we're living through right now. Are they even legal? We don't know. Every time you switch on the news, there's news that there's different news. So it's hard to keep up. If you can import figures, though, I'm happy for you. And I hope that if you can't, you will be able to soon. And Good Smile, They're going to be putting out a lot of figures over the next few weeks, I think. They're pretty prolific, aren't they? So this one is going to be shipping around about April of next year. So if you think you're going to be able to get hold of him, you can put your pre-orders in now. NECA are teasing their upcoming, is it 2012 Turtles? I think this is the 2012 version of the Turtles. Didn't follow this one so closely, but they look incredibly accurate to the cartoon designs. I do love it when a company can just take the 2D design, make it 3D, and it works. So of course, this is just the teaser. Proper images to come soon, and when they do, you'll find them here. Oh, 3-0 have got a big figure for you big high rollers, especially you Fallout fans. Let me just read this off the page to make sure I get all the details right here. We've got Fallout X01 Institute Power Armor by 3-0. Now, what I love about this is that this ain't the modern power armor. This isn't from the TV show. This is old school 90s power armor. At least that's where I recognize this look from. So just to check out any further information we've got here, going to be $429. Like I said, this is one for the high rollers here. But hey, what else are you going to spend your money on, am I right? And he's going to be releasing around about the fourth quarter of this year. So also, being a 3-0 type piece, then it's got loads of stuff that you can plink and plonk together. So it's almost a little bit like a YOLO Park transformer. You've got the base body underneath, and then you can put all the armor on top of that. So you can kind of build the character together yourself. That's kind of fun there. Yeah, I want to see specifically where this version of the armor is from, because there might be some hardcore Fallout fans out there, and if there are, more power to you, who are like, actually, Dave, that's Fallout armor from the Dewberry video game. But it just says, highlighting all the details based on the appearance in the video game. Also, thank you for everyone who messaged telling me how to pronounce Mai's name. I was like, is it May? Is it Mai? I appreciate that. And also someone who said, no one calls her Armika. Well, I just did, so... Anyway, yeah, if you have a lot of money to spend, then you do well to spend it on this. McFarlane are doing a whole bunch of 1/3 scale Batman cowls. And it's an interesting mix. At first I was like, they're just doing the movie ones. No, they're not. We're getting some interesting source material here. So the one that I really like is the comic book version we've got from the Court of Owls. So it's got the cool white eyes. I really like that. That's pretty awesome. And then also they're going to be doing the Frank Miller Dark Knight armored helmet kind of version. It's funny, like, I know they're 1/3 scale, but I can't sort of picture that very well. It'd be nice to see a photo of one next to, I don't know, like a can of Coke or something, or a deodorant can. So you can get like an idea of like, okay, it says 7 inches, but all right, that gives me a bit of a better idea. So it's the same height as a McFarlane figure, which is annoyingly slightly too big, not the good Lord scale. And then also another one that I like, they're doing the Batman and Robin cowl as well. So the George Clooney cowl, that's fun. So McFarlane, before they lose the license, but it's only the action figures. I'm guessing they can still make other DC products. So I guess they might start making even more of these. State of your collectible, mate. Oh my goodness. Look at this Solid Snake collector's edition piece that's being distributed by Konami. Konami, state of your Solid Snake, mate.
Do we have to put up with this? I mean, I think we can do better than this.
So this is a $200 collector's edition of Metal Gear Delta. And the game has been getting decent reviews, although actually the reviews have warned me off of getting it myself, because apparently it is like a shot-for-shot remake. So it's very, very pretty now, but it still has some of the quality of life issues that a 20-year-old game had. I said 20 years. It's not that much, was it? Or maybe it was. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's doing well as far as reviews are concerned, except for this monstrosity of a diorama piece. I mean, I'm sorry, but I was just at a convention recently with Duarte Customs. You want to see some diorama pieces? Boom. That's what I'm talking about. For $200? You get this? Some moss and a janky-ass Ken doll Solid Snake? Oh, Konami. I mean, thank you for finally doing something with the Metal Gear franchise. Like, I'm grateful for that. And even Hideo Kojima has said that he would like to see someone with the vision tackle a new entry in that series. So that's a good thing. But this collector's edition, this ain't it. My most anticipated comic book story arc for this year has got to be the new Spider-Man 94 series, continuing the animated show in comic book form, written by, personally, my favorite 90s Spider-Man writer, J.M. DeMatteis, who just crafted so many of the best moments of the original Clone Saga. Now we're continuing the story and bringing in some new characters that would never have been in that original TV show. Mainly Morlun, who's a very modern character, but this is kind of interesting because with these preview pages, we're seeing Kane as well, the clone, the degenerated clone of Spider-Man, one of my all-time favorite characters, but they're obviously doing a bit of a different twist here as well. He's referring to Morlun as father and all sorts of things, so they might be changing up all the different lore of these characters. I don't know. I'm just along for the ride. The artwork looks great because it looks like it is kind of invoking the feel of the cartoon without just trying to make it look like the cartoon, because I don't think that would work. It would just not look great. This is real nice looking modern comic book artwork. Who is the artist? I'm looking at it now trying to see. Jim Toe. There you go. Jim Toe. Well, can of Coke to you, Jim Toe, because I think this looks real nice. And we got a couple of gorgeous looking kind of tribute covers to older artwork, like with Spider-Man and Venom that's been modernized. This is going to be a real love letter to fans of the 94 cartoon show. This was the show that got me in to comics and Spider-Man to start with. So I owe a lot to Spider-Man 94. So fingers crossed, this series is going to deliver. For anyone who's been considering jumping onto modern Batman comics, now might be the best time, because Batman #1 has just hit newsstands and apparently has sold out. Do they hit newsstands anymore? Comics don't hit newsstands. They hit comic book shops and online downloads. But whatever the medium is that you get them in, it's doing pretty well. Actually, I said it sold out, but I don't know why I said that. It doesn't say sold out anywhere. I got caught up in my own hype, but I know that it's very popular because they've been doing these blind bags, so if you're not familiar, I'm sure you are, but the blind bags are sealed comic books that have, you don't know what the front cover is going to be. And some of them are like a 1 in 500 super rare cover. I've learned this from my colleague, Dom, who of course sells comic books on Whatnot. So he's been telling me all about this. I'm like, ooh, Dave could get into doing some of this comic book selling, maybe. So it's been popular, is what I'm saying, even if it hasn't sold out. So Batman #1 by Matt Fraction and George Jimenez is out as of this week. So this is a bold new take on The Dark Knight, apparently. I'm reading this from Bleeding Cool News here. Gotham City shifts towards a cyberpunk dystopian tone with Vandal Savage as police commissioner. Dr. Zeller is a new potential love interest to Bruce Wayne, impacting Batman's psyche in unexpected ways. Bruce Wayne dating a psychiatrist, I'm guessing. Is she a psychiatrist? Psyche. No, it's talking about Batman's psyche. Why am I just imagining things and then saying them? It's not sold out, and Dr. Zeller isn't necessarily a psychiatrist. I just thought psychiatrist. That's Dave's thought process there. I think I probably need a psychiatrist, don't I? To be honest, we all do. We would probably all benefit from lying on the couch for a while. So new villains, Arkham changes, and shifting alliances set up high stakes for Batman's latest challenges. And the little write-up here we've got for issue #1 as well, the little synopsis, if you will, says, a bold new era of Batman starts here. A new day dawns for the Dark Knight detective as Eisner Award-winning writer Matt Fraction, Hawkeye, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, etc., joins forces with superstar artist George Jimenez, or is it Jorge? help me out, folks. I want to be respectful to the artist, but I'm also a doofus, so you got to cover your tracks. For an unforgettable new era of Batman, the best superhero in comics gets a brand new first issue to kick off this new era that will test Batman and Bruce Wayne like never before. So yeah, if you're interested in jumping on board with Batman, now's the time to do it. Oh my goodness, the Spider-Man family of books is really delivering right now, and I'm kind of digging it. It's a good time to be a Spider-Man fan. So Mary Jane is still with the Venom symbiote, and also Peter Parker is off in space with the bizarre combination of Norman Osborn and Ben Reilly sort of filling in for him down on Earth. I'm so on board for all of this. So first of all, we've got Mary Jane with the Venom symbiote, and in the most recent issue, they've actually done something that I thought they were just going to brush over, which is address the fact that when the symbiote first bonded with Eddie Brock, they traumatized Mary Jane, and she hasn't forgotten that. I thought it's kind of convenient for her to be like, yeah, Venom symbiote, come on, let's work together and be pals and superheroes. It's like, whoa, slow your roll a second. Like, there are some things to discuss. As we saw from David Michelinie's run with Todd McFarlane, yeah, I loved that original version of Venom, who was just a thug. He was a stalker and just a scumbag roidy Magoo who was terrorizing Peter and his loved ones. But, in the words of Jack Nicholson's Joker, that wasn't easy to get over, and don't think that I didn't try. So we have a really cool issue addressing that. And then also over in Spider-Man, like I said, Peter has been jettisoned off into space. I do believe we're still going to be fleshing that out. But basically, he lost a big fight and hasn't been seen since. And then Spider-Man shows up and Peter Parker shows up. And when they confront each other, they're like, you're not Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's like, and you're not Peter Parker. And then, of course, the masks come off and it's Norman Osborn and Ben Reilly, aka Chasm. And they seem to be moving away from the rubbish Zeb Wells Chasm and closer towards Ben Reilly trying to actually redeem himself type Chasm. So that's really cool as well. So bottom line, and dollars to donuts, it's a good time to be reading the Spider books. Marvel Rivals just keeps on a-truckin', and now we're getting 2 new, highly requested characters, from what I understand, from the rumor and scuttlebutt. Because I don't play Marvel Rivals, but people who do have told me this is quite exciting for people to see. Daredevil and Angela are going to be added to the squads. And also, people have been saying, has Marvel Rivals kind of had its moment and now players are dropping off? I think that's kind of the case for any online game, isn't it? It's going to have a big surge, and then the people who just wanted to check it out are going to move on, and the people who really got their hooks into, they're going to be sticking around. And those who have stuck around are going to be rewarded by a big, giant, 7-foot-tall, jacked-up muscle mummy Angela. I love the fact that the Marvel Rivals designers make no apologies. They know exactly what they're doing. They know who they're designing for. They know who they're appealing to. And they do it so well. So come on, Blockies. You know I'm talking to you when I say just hurry up with these Marvel Rival figures, if you will. And Hasbro too. Those were on a leak list, so fingers crossed we'll be seeing more of those. But yeah, Angela looks spectacular. But also, Daredevil, man, Dee Dee looks badass. They've gone for a much more, I feel, sort of like an Edo period samurai kind of design, which just works. I think that's a cool design. Not that different, actually, or at least maybe inspired by the more sort of ninja-y looking Daredevil that was in the comics not that long ago that we did get a pretty decent action figure of. So yeah, if you're a Marvel Rivals fan, then hopefully you meet this news with 2 thumbs up. Up where? I don't know, can't say. Mark your calendars, July 9th, 2027, Superman Man of Tomorrow is going to be hitting cinema screens. Oh my goodness! What a time to be alive. As Greg Miller said, after eating glass for a decade of Zack Snyder movies, Superman fans are now getting another Superman sequel. Only 2 years after the first one hit cinema screens. That's really something to be coming around that quick. We got Supergirl in the meantime, but it's just like, it worked. It must have worked. Otherwise, they wouldn't be making another one. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, well, Superman's not made that much money. It's made enough. That's all I'm saying. Because it was funny, when I was saying how much I enjoyed Superman, it was amazing how many people were like, yeah, but it hasn't made that much money. It's like, well, that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to enjoy it. And it seems like a lot of other people did too, because they're just carrying on with what they've built already. And from the admittedly gorgeous looking Jim Lee art that was released with this press release, it looks like we're going to be building on the Superman, Clark Kent, Lex Luthor dynamic. Now, I'm not a big DC guy. I'm still becoming a DC guy thanks to the Superman movie. But people who know said this is probably going to be a Brainiac type story because of like the little key that Superman's holding in his hand, and they're guessing that maybe in this story, Brainiac is going to invade Metropolis, and it's going to be up to Superman to team with Lex Luthor to take down Brainiac. That sounds like a lot of fun, because the dynamic of Lex and Superman in that movie was so good. Every single moment they were on screen together was absolutely fantastic. So if we can have a non-buddy movie with the two of them, with Lex obviously trying to scheme and screw over Superman at the first chance he gets, and then a big screen Brainiac, if that is what they're doing, it's going to be a good time. Man, I tell you what, every time I see something new from this James Gunn DC universe, it's making more of a fan out of me. This is great news. The fact it's going to be just a 2-year gap and boom, another Superman sequel. I'm happy for you Superman fans who were waiting so long. And it's a real shame, because I feel like Henry Cavill could have played this Superman. Like, he could have been doing this, 15 years ago or whenever Man of Steel first came out. But instead, we had to suffer through a lot to get to where we are. But now we're in the good times. And speaking of Halloween horror goodness, well, not Halloween, but horror at least, 28 years later, The Bone Temple has just had its trailer premiere, and it looks encouraging, but also you really can't tell much from this besides the flavor of the movie. I was kind of surprised by 28 years later, because it was a lot more, I don't want to say family friendly, but it wasn't as unsettling as the original 28 movies were. See, I love horror that actually upsets me. But I want to walk out of the movie being like, whereas 28 years later, I was like, that was kind of a fun romp, really. And it was. I mean, there were like some Mortal Kombat style fatalities happening in that movie, but still, it was more of an action adventure, enjoyable roller coaster of fun, if you can call it that. And the ending was very divisive. The ending where a whole bunch of, breakbeat dancing Power Ranger kids turn up. I'm like, what is this? Did we just switch genres for a second? Well, we're going to be continuing with these kids in the sequel, but it looks like, at least from the flavor of the trailer, it looks like it could be a little nasty. Maybe they are going to go nastier. That could be kind of fun. Like the first movie, we let our guard down, and then they're like, oh, no. It's on like Donkey Kong. Time's going to tell. This will be releasing January 16th. There you go. So not too long to wait. And mixed expectations aside, I still plan to see this opening night. Now, you might want to look away if you don't want to see some slightly scary pictures, okay? Because I'm going to be talking about the filming of the upcoming Clayface movie that's taking place in Liverpool. So the UK, we're filming Spider-Man up in Scotland. Now Liverpool is hosting Clayface, and we've got some set photos that have been taken by some eagle-eyed reporters. So we've got the main actor. What's his name? Tom Rhys Harris. I don't know how you pronounce that name, but he looks bandaged up and bloodied, and basically it looks like they're going for, well, we know it's going to be a horror movie. They've made it very clear. This is a horror movie, and they're really going to be leaning into that, hopefully, because you know me, I love a good horror movie. And James Gunn has said not all DC movies are going to be Superman. They're not all going to be in that style. They're not all going to be bright and happy and colorful and yay. There's going to be some different genre pieces, and this is a genre piece. And it looks like they're going with this Clayface backstory of being the actor who uses this chemical to... It says in the write-up here that it's to keep him looking young, but I'm more familiar with the animated series where he's disfigured and he uses it to make his face look nice, and then he upsets some gangsters and they pour it down his throat and he becomes Clayface. That was horrifying for a children's Saturday morning TV show, I'll tell you that. So I don't know what exactly they're going to do with the origin, but just looking at some of the set dressing, the police cars, the GCPD, all that kind of thing, there was one thing that confused a few people, understandably, or made people ask questions, which was there was a newspaper that has the same logo as the logo used in Matt Reeves' Batman and the Penguin show. So people were like, but that's not set in that universe, is it? And James Gunn has made it very clear, it's not. Maybe they're sharing the same logo, but it's not set in that universe because he feels that Clayface is too fantastical a character for that very grounded Batman universe. So he wants to use this as an origin story for the DCU to get Clayface. So that's interesting. And of all the comic book projects that are currently in gestation, this is one that I'm anticipating, well, actually, to be fair, somewhere in the middle. But considering the big movies that are coming out over the next few years, somewhere in the middle is actually a pretty good ranking. Sophie Turner, who most of you will know from Game of Thrones or one of the rubbish X-Men movies, has officially been cast as the role, or in the role, of Lara Croft in their upcoming Lara Croft TV show, or streaming show. I guess they're not TV shows anymore, are they? They're streaming shows. And I know that this casting is going to be met with some gripes and grumbles. And honestly, I'm one of them. Yeah, I surprised you there. Just when you think I'm going to go left, I go right. Normally, I'm the person who says, no, give it a chance. Don't say, oh, well, they're just casting her and she's not right. No, I will say I don't think this is a good fit. I think with a lot of the Tomb Raider projects that have come out recently or over the last few years, the live action movie, the animated show, was it Netflix, I think? They've tried to kind of like cool down the bombshell sort of aspect of Lara Croft and make her like, a real like gritty, real life, lady who's doing her thing. But it's like, that doesn't really seem to like resonate with audiences. I think a lot of the fun and appeal of Lara Croft is the wish fulfillment nonsense. And that would actually be possibly a lot more fun. Sophie Turner, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that the reason why I don't think she's right is because she's too real. She's too real of an actress, of a person. That's a compliment to her. And don't get me wrong either. A lot of don't get me wrongs. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful, charismatic lady. But I just think they should have just gone more over the top. Like a lot of you weren't around in the before 4 times. I've said that already in this episode, and I corrected myself because most of you were, because we're all the same age. In the 90s, in like 1990, 6, when Lara Croft first debuted, the reason that she became a cultural icon was because she's ridiculous with her giant polygonal pyramid tits. It was bonkers. It was so silly, and we loved it. And every time that like they try to take Lara into a different medium, they try to move away from that. Like, no, we're better than that. That was the 90s. That was a barbaric and savage time. And you know what? It was fun as well. It was a fun time. It was a silly time. It was a more halcyon moment where maybe we weren't so worried about clutching our pearls and getting everything gritty and real and you know what I mean? Anyway, all that being said, I'd like to see this show. And I'd like to see if they can actually do something really fun with it, because Sophie Turner's good. But I just don't know. I feel like it's going to be another kind of Rings of Power thing where a few people might watch it and enjoy it, but I can't see it being the mega smash that I think they're hoping it will be. But hey, prove me wrong, people. Prove me wrong. Honestly, it literally happens every day. Like every time I talk about anything, I'm usually proved wrong. So this is kind of a fun, interesting story. At DragonCon this year, for those not in the know, DragonCon, kind of an anime-type convention, pretty big. Like it's a huge, big thing. But there was an, let me just get my little finger quotes here, artist who had to be removed or at least escorted by police. Why? Because they were selling AI art, which when it was realized by all the actual real artists around them that this dude was just hawking AI-generated images, they were like, what's the state of this guy? Like, I mean, the nerve. But it's funny because, I mean, I don't know if there were any rules in like the sign-up rule book that you weren't allowed to do that. I agree there should have been, because AI art is pretty much slop. It is. I'm not one to get on my high horse, and I won't berate anyone who, I won't be like, oh, how dare you use AI artwork in your thumbnail or whatever. You do you. But going to a convention and attempting to basically take money from other artists, because that's what you're doing. You're offering something. People only have so much money to spend. So going there with your AI-generated artwork and taking potential sales away from other artists who have actually put in their talent, time, and effort to create something, nah, man, I don't think so. And the funny thing was, apparently, when they were told to leave, because I guess the event organizers were like, yeah, we're not okay with this. They kicked up a fuss and had to be escorted out by police. And then once they were gone, their empty table became a shrine of anti-AI art messages and trolling and this and that. Just kind of tickled me. It's nice to see the community get together and, like, in the words of South Park, or to take an idea from South Park, kind of like positive bullying. Some people need to be bullied. And I thought that was kind of quirky. And folks, that does it for Good News for today. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think about the various items covered? Comment below and let me know. This was a bit of a different episode where there wasn't so much action figure news, but there was still lots of fun stuff to talk about. So I thought, well, let's talk about it. So if you want to give it a little thumbs up, I'd be very, very grateful for that. And if you wanted to go one step beyond and become a channel member, well, that would actually help me make more episodes. So I'd be incredibly grateful. So if you ever thought, if you met me in person, you'd buy me a pint, well, this is the best version of doing that. Unless you actually do meet me in person, in which case, yeah, I'd love a pint. Thank you. I'm really enjoying Brewdog at the moment. So thank you so much for watching, gang. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Coffee.